Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Gachie Skyman TV, the tallest man in Black Africa. The International Criminal Court is on red alert. It is on very high alert following what is happening in Kenya. Kenya was a victim of the post-election violence in 2007, 2008, when the International Criminal Court came calling and a number of prominent Kenyans, including the Inspector General, William Samoei Ruto, and the former president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, were aligned in courts over cases of crime against humanity. And what is happening in Kenya has interested the ICC. The International Criminal Court is a Hague-based court which is mandated to prosecute, to try after investigating cases of genocide. It is also mandated to prosecute after investigating crimes against humanity, war crimes, war of aggressions, summary executions, exploitation of personal property, and torture. When you look at the situation in Kenya, you see that the ICC may come calling if what is happening or if what is being said is anything to go by. Politicians have been trying to stop each other because what is happening is that the opposition is leading mass actions. And according to the law, according to our constitution, this is allowed in Article 37. And picketing peacefully and assembling and picketing is something that is allowed in the constitution. But the government, led by the Inspector General of Police, have been trying to stop these demonstrations. And you can see a lot of force is being used. We can see that people are being dispersed with a lot of force. Water canisters are thrown all over. Life has been lost in the process because we saw a student from Maseno University being executed by the policemen. Tear gas. So when you look at what is happening, it can easily attract the ICC. Yesterday, we had none other than Raila Amolo Odinga talking about planning meetings to execute some demonstrators. And he even went ahead, mentioned Rigathi Gachagua, who is planning, and even named the vehicles that were transporting arms, serious arms, crude, some of them crude weapons. Then, if this happens, if Gachagua is found to be doing this, or if at all he executed this, I can tell you, if he executes this plan, he will end in ICC. Remember one thing, that William Samoei Ruto is not yet out of the woods. What happened? Because of maybe lack of witnesses, many of them recanted their evidence. A number of them died mysteriously. Because of this, the file, the case was suspended, but the file was not closed. And they said, in case of new evidence, the ICC will not hesitate to open the file and prosecute William Samoei Ruto. If you have been watching William Samoei Ruto, he has been very careful on dealing with the demonstrators. Indeed, when you look at him, and maybe that is why he left the country tactfully, so that during the demonstrations, he will not be there. During the execution of Gachagua's plan, he will not be there. He will also not be there on Thursday, because these are the days that Azimio has planned to demonstrate all over the country. There will be mass action, massive demonstrations throughout the country, and the president will be nowhere to be seen. So the burden is on Gachagua. If people are killed en masse, it will be taken as massacre. If the police, because I saw Jafat Koome yesterday threatening the demonstrators. I saw him, I heard him banning demonstrations, even when he doesn't have any power. He doesn't have any power to ban any demonstrations in this country. Maybe he can only do this by getting court orders. Because what he said, that the police will use any force to stop the demonstrators. And life may be lost here. Policemen may be trigger happy. And the crowd might go wild. And blood may be shed. Life may be lost. And the ICC will come calling. One person who will not escape this, one person who will not escape the ICC news is none other than the Inspector General himself. If the police, if we give illegal orders, and in the process, life is lost, properties are destroyed, people are killed en masse, be assured that our Inspector General will be the guest of ICC in Netherlands. And I believe that what ICC is doing is collecting evidence. I believe ICC is on the ground. I believe ICC is following what is happening in Kenya silently. I believe these days they don't wait for things to happen. They follow situations where they feel that violence can easily erupt. None other than Putin, Russian president, who is now a guest of the ICC. Anytime, this man can be arrested. And you know, when you're talking about Russia, we are talking about a superpower, a very powerful country that even America cannot even dare to stop the war in Ukraine. Because when it comes to nuclear warheads, Russia is leading the world. Russia is a nuclear power. It is feared by many countries. And now, you can see now the president of Russia. Now you can ask yourself, what is Kenya? What is Kenya surely compared to Russia? If they can go for Russian president, what about the Kenyan president? What about the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya? What about the Inspector General? These people have all the powers. And then when you look at what is happening, you know, we don't have crime of aggressions because we don't have invasions. We don't have people invading other people's place or counties and maybe displacing people. But you see, the way the policemen are doing, the way they are behaving, people can be forced to run away from the estates. And this one will be displacement. And the ICC can come calling. So it is very, very very important that the police, because I believe these are the people who will create these problems. The police are the one who will create the problems in this country. It is important that they know that ICC is watching. Our leaders who have been mentioned, Raila Amolo Odinga has been mentioned by Kenya Kwanza, and inasemekana ya kwamba wakati Nyoro na Gachagua na Kimani Ichung'wah wakati walikutana kule Karen, ilisemekana ya kwamba kulingana na Raila Amolo Odinga ati ule mkutano ulikuwa kuangamiza zaidi ya watu 1,000. Kuangamiza watu zaidi ya 1,000. This is massacre. Na wakati jambo hili litatokea, eti Raila Amolo Odinga sasa angepelekwa ICC. Hili si jambo la kufanya watu wacheke. And if I were the president, I would move in very fast. Something else, there has been proposals that the government may shut down the internet during the demonstrations to avoid live coverage of the demonstrations. This in itself is illegal. This in itself is not good. And I understand that Gachagua is determined to do anything to stop the demonstrations. If he doesn't apply the law, if he uses maximum force that is going to bring mass death, because it can happen, I can tell you, he will be a guest of the ICC. And if ICC is on the ground, because I understand they do their work silently, they are doing their work silently. Najua simba mweda kimya die hula nyama. Finally, they will get the evidence that they have been looking for. And if this happens, I can tell you, Kenya will be an example to other nations. Because what is happening is that we have a contested elections. We have a country that is divided down the middle. There has also been talk of secession as the last option. So if you have been following what our leaders have been saying, both in the social media and on the ground, you realize that this crisis, this conflict is not just about to end. And I believe that instead of going away, or instead of going to another country when there's a crisis, like now, you know, when the president is going to Germany and Belgium, he's thinking like everything is normal. Everything is not normal. We cannot bury our heads in the sand like ostrich, hoping that the problems or the challenges will go. When you listen to the opposition, they are not about to give in. They are not about to give up. They are not about to let go. Because they strongly believe that Raila Amolo Odinga won the presidency. So there's no way that this crisis will end anytime soon without negotiating, without tangible things on the table. They must sit down, negotiate. Alternatively, William Samoei Ruto can opt to resign, as I've always said in this channel. Something I believe he's not ready to do. Again, when you look at this country, the level of hopelessness, the level of division in this country is worrying. When you look or listen to our leaders, the way they have been inciting members of the public is worrying. The strategy meetings that they have been holding to outdo each other ni jambo ambalo linaleta wasiwasi mwingi sana. Ni jambo ambalo linazua tumbo joto. Ni jambo ambalo linatuambia all is not well. And I believe that this country has men and women full of wisdom who can stand for their country and say, this is the direction that our country should take. I don't know what you think, but from where I sit, if our leaders are not careful, they will plunge the country into chaos. If our leaders are not careful, they will be guests of the ICC anytime from now. This is your host, Gachie Skyman, the tallest man in Black Africa. Kindly like this video and subscribe if you have not. And may you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.